Teacher support. Though I said that all these practices, they lessen the burden of the teacher in the sense that teacher has so many assessments done by the students themselves. For example, self-assessment, peer assessment, reflection. So all these things, they help the teacher to form an assessment by herself also. But the work of the teacher is lessened to some extent. But that does not mean that the teacher is not going to support the students. The teacher's support is very, very important. Apart from the fact that the learners are doing a lot of job to be independent learners and to assessing themselves independently. However, the teacher still needs to be there to monitor, to facilitate, to supervise, and to look at the cases where she thinks there is some type of bias amongst the students. Because the teacher can always feel that, because she's the teacher, she is in charge, and she is the final decision maker. So the teacher is to supervise and help students also with appropriate use of vocabulary. Sometimes when the students are self-assessing themselves or they are reflecting on their fellow students on how they are using the words, they still need some vocabulary. The teacher can provide this vocabulary on the board, on the screen, on the wall, or in the resource materials that she collects for them, that she keeps in the room in order to assist the learners in case they need some words to express their opinions. Secondly, the teacher needs to guide use of appropriate language on the internet as well. It is something like what I said in the netiquette. The vocabulary that is being used on the internet has to be guided by the teacher as well. And in case the students are in need of some vocabulary, the teacher can always provide some words to be used on the internet in order to help these students to form opinions, express their views online by using appropriate language on the internet. The third thing which the teacher needs to give as a support to the students is emphasis on proper words to request, to advise, to greet, to question, and to answer. So this is related to the pragmatics of language. So the teacher needs to guide the students when they are working on writing sentences or speaking sentences or even reading sentences, that they must focus on the pragmatics of the language. What kind of language has to be used when they advise somebody? What kind of language has to be used when they are requesting for something? When they are greeting, what kind of intonation has to be used? You can't say good morning to somebody like just saying good morning. You have to say it like good morning. You really intend the other person should have a good morning. Or if you are saying have a nice day, so you really have to put in some intonation. The teacher's support is very important, especially if she listens to some students greeting without intonation. It is not necessary for her to say that is wrong. She can just repeat the same sentence with an example of intonation. Usually it has been noticed that the teachers use the phrase, this is wrong. I think the teachers should avoid using the phrase, this is wrong. Instead, in order to correct the students' intonation, pronunciation, or word stress, the teacher can just replicate the sentence, say the sentence again by using all these forms of speech and speaking skills in order to make aware the students the importance of these skills.